Hey everybody, welcome back to Podcastage. My name's Behringer, and I'm back with an audio interface test video for you guys. Today I am testing out this guy. This is the Behringer U-Phoria UM2 2x2 USB audio interface with Xenix mic preamp. So, we're going to go ahead and see how this sounds today. First, let's talk about what you get in the box. So let's switch to the other camera. Obviously, you're going to get the actual interface right here. Then you're going to get this USB cable that allows you to plug it into your actual computer. And then lastly, you get a bunch of documentation. This is the quick start guide in English, Spanish, French, Dutch, Portuguese, and then there's one in Chinese and Japanese as well. And then also, it's important to note, this comes with a 3-year warranty. Okay, so the build quality on this thing is just decent. It's an all-plastic body, and I honestly don't think there's any metal anywhere on this thing. So if you're planning on traveling with this, like throwing it in a bag and taking it to a convention with you, I would not recommend that because it's all plastic, and it will most likely not last. The jacks are a little loose here, but it's nothing too big there. This button right here feels kind of loose as well, but nothing really crazy about that. The knobs on top are plastic as well, and they feel a little bit wobbly, but if you keep this in a safe place like a home studio, I don't think you're going to run into any big problems with this thing breaking on you. You just got to take special care of it. Now let's go ahead and walk through all the features on this thing. The first input over here that I am using for my microphone is a combo input. What that means, it is an XLR as well as 1/4 inch input. Directly next to that, we have 2 lights. The bottom one is a signal light, just so you can look down and say, okay, the microphone is picking up audio. The light directly above that is incredibly important. It is the clip light. So if your signal is too loud and you're clipping and distorting, this will light up red. So I'm going to go ahead and make it do that right now. So turn down your speakers or your headphones and I'll just show you. So I'm just keeping talking. And where are we? Now you can see it. It's slowly clicking on as I am speaking into it, and it is clipping. Next, we have a 1/4 inch input, which can be used for a guitar or a bass if you're recording directly into your DAW. Next to that, we have the exact same lights as we did on line input 1. We have the signal light on the bottom and the clipping line on the top. Next, we have the direct monitor button right here, and what this does is when it is depressed like it is right now, it plays the audio from both inputs through the headphones and the RCA outputs on the back with 0 latency. So if you are recording an instrument and you need to make sure you're playing on time, this is a great feature to have because you can hear what you're playing with 0 latency. You don't have to worry about compensating for a little bit of a lag. Then we have 2 more lights over here. The top one is the power light, which just tells you that the interface is plugged in and it is getting power. The light directly below that is just telling you that the 48-volt phantom power is initiated or turned on. Then lastly on the front, we have a 1/4 inch headphone output. So if you just have regular headphones, you're going to probably have to get an adapter like this so you can plug your headphones in. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about the top of this thing, which I really like because of its simplicity. And I also want to note, it does not come with these black marks on it. I just couldn't see it in the camera, so I marked it with a Sharpie. Okay, the first knob right here controls the gain for our first input, which is what I am plugging the XLR cable into. So as we turn this knob to the right, we will get louder, and as we turn it to the left, we will get quieter. The second knob is the exact same thing, but for instrument 2, the 1/4 inch input right here. Then lastly, we have the output volume knob, which basically increases or decreases the volume being played through the headphone output or the RCA output on the back. I do want to note that this does not directly affect the audio levels that are being recorded on your computer. Lastly, on the back, we have RCA output, so you can plug this thing into an amplifier or studio monitors or something like that if you want better audio. Then we have the USB plug to plug the interface into our computer. And then over here, this is our 48-volt phantom power switch. Right now, it is switched on because I'm using a condenser microphone that requires power. If you're using a dynamic microphone, you'll just switch it off before you plug it in. Then I think this little port right here is for a security device, so you can like lock it to your desk or something. So as far as specifications for this thing, I wasn't able to find much. I found that it does record 48 kilohertz resolution, and it obviously has the 48 volts phantom power supply. I measured the voltage, and it actually outputs about 46 volts, so it's pretty darn close. Not the full 48, but only a couple volts off, so it should work with the majority, if not all, condenser microphones. Now, as with any audio interface, it's important to know how good the preamp is, and you can tell that by listening to a microphone as well as checking the noise floor. And what that is, it's the signal-to-noise ratio. So how we're going to test that, I'm just going to crank the gain on mic line 1, and I'm going to shut up so you can hear the kind of background noise that the preamp generates. Okay, so now as you can see, I have a 1/4 inch plugged into mic line input 1, and I'm running this into Logic Pro X, and that is what you see on the screen now. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you that I'm just going to go ahead and play a little something so you can see how it works. I'm just using a preset in Logic. Okay, so I do want to point out one problem I had, and that's when I started to record with this, it was only recording in the left speaker, only on the left channel. So I'm going to show you how I fixed that on the Mac. I'm sure on the PC or on a Windows machine, there's going to be a very similar solution, but this is how I fixed it on the Mac. So the first thing I did is I went into my audio MIDI setup, then I found the device that I'm actually using, which is the USB audio codec. I clicked on it, and when I first came to the settings, it was set at 2-channel 16-bit integer. So what that would mean is the XLR input would record on the left channel, and the 1/4 inch that's next to it would record on the right-hand channel. Now, since I'm recording a single microphone, and most likely you are, I just switched to 1-channel 16-bit integer, and what that does is say, okay, take the first channel from this mixer and just set it as mono. That's going to be the only input coming in, and it just plays the same thing out of both speakers. And that's really all I had to do to get it to work like this. So the noise floor was pretty bad on this thing. Once you get above about 75%, you start to hear a lot of just low-end hiss. But I don't think it's that horrible for a $30 mixer. The main thing that I like about it is it has the full 48 volts of power, it has actual input gain, and then it also has the clipping light right here to make it really easy to tell if your signal is too hot, if you're destroying your audio, or anything like that. So if you are looking for an interface and you were thinking about getting one of these, which is the Sabrent adapter, or any USB adapter really, I would highly recommend saving up a couple extra dollars and getting something like this Behringer UM2, which only costs about $30. And if you were to get a USB adapter, you'd be paying $5 or $6 for that, and then between $15 and $20 for a phantom power supply. So this is really only a few dollars more, and you're getting better features, more control over your audio, and just an all-around much better package. Alright guys, well I guess that will do it for today. If you are interested in this interface, I'll throw a link in the video description down below, and if you have any questions about it, leave them in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. If you found the video fun, interesting, or helpful, give me a thumbs up. If you thought it sucked, thumbs down. If you want more, click subscribe or click on the logo in the corner, and I will see you all later. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.